a little bit about tolerance. When you put a choke collar on a dog, or a prong collar, or even an electronic collar, you have to understand that the dog can develop a tolerance to it. So a lot of trainers will start with a choke collar, and they'll give the dog a correction, and they get a response from the dog. And then over a period of a couple of months, that same correction doesn't get the same response from the dog, because the dog's starting to develop a tolerance. It's kind of like if you've ever done martial arts. One of the things you have to do is toughen up your forearms and your arms. And so if somebody started punching you in the arm, just a light punch, at first it's going to feel, ow, stop doing that. But over a period of time, you can take harder and harder punches because you develop a tolerance. Okay, and it's the same thing with the dog. At first you give them a light correction, you get a response, then you have to get harder and harder and harder, and pretty soon you're getting to a point where you can physically damage the dog, because the dog has developed such a hard tolerance to it that the level of correction could damage the dog's trachea or the dog's neck. And that's where people usually escalate. They start with a choke collar, and then they go to a prong collar, and then they go to an e-collar, and then they go to a higher level correction on an e-collar. And as I said, all this negative reinforcement is going to have an effect on the dog. It really will have an effect on the dog. And so when you're training a dog, you want to make sure that you're getting the right response from the dog and you're not constantly escalating your corrections on the dog. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about suppression, and then I'm going to talk about how to use punishment correctly.